Hey everybody, Anish Majumdar here, career coach of the fiercely ambitious, back at you today with 3 situations in hiring where you absolutely need to refuse to answer the question. And I know for a lot of us, especially, you might be saying, look, that sounds great for you to say, Anish. I need a job. I've been looking for a job for months. I don't have the luxury of being bravado filled or having an attitude. Hopefully this video will show you a different way of looking at these challenges and will show you a different way to actually getting the outcome that you're after faster and more easy. It's not about having an attitude. It's not about showing people that, hey, you can stand up for yourself, although there's obviously nothing wrong with that. I love that, okay? It's about really starting with this. Hiring is a negotiation. There is no way to good student your way towards the outcome, especially if they're higher level outcomes, because we want more than someone who's just going to say yes to us all the time, right? The real people that we learn from, the real people that we collaborate, we partner with, they're always giving us, through their behavior, their responses, their illuminations, they're giving us feedback and they're giving us a way of thinking that we obviously haven't considered before. Sometimes that's challenging. Sometimes that says no. Right? Sometimes that means going against the grain, right? But you have to give me something that I don't already know because on some level I'm hiring, right? I'm looking to solve a problem that I can't solve on my own. If I had all the answers, what do I need you for? And people forget that in hiring all the time. They think that just because it's like an employer-employee or consulting or client business, that the dynamics of what actually moves someone to an outcome get thrown out the window. It's actually the opposite. It actually intensifies. So you got to have a couple of these moments in any situation that's going towards an offer. I firmly believe this. You got to have a couple of eyebrow-raising moments where it's like, okay, all right, sure, let's try it. And if you're not doing that, and we see this a lot, we'll see, and I will work with people who are like, Anish, I got late stage over and over and over again. I did everything right. I did every presentation, every single thing that I was supposed to do. I did it. Okay. And at the end, without really much of a reason, I was out. And I don't know what I did wrong. Well, would you believe that for many of these people, the only thing they did wrong is they were too agreeable. They were too personable. They were too much of a yes man or woman, right? They didn't have 1 or 2 moments. And I would say if things have been a love fest with the situation that you're pursuing right now, you should think about bringing in 2 or 3 moments. They don't have to be high stakes, but bring in a few moments where you do go against the grain, where you say, you know what, I got to tell you, that would not be a priority on day 1. That, I don't think, is on the same level as these problems. Here's why. Here's what I think. Here's why I think it's going to be exciting. What do you think about that? Does that make sense, right? You want to sprinkle in one or 2 of those moments just so people know that when push comes to shove and you're on the other side and you're personally accountable for solving these things, that you're going to have the courage of your convictions, right? That's really, really key. So these 3 questions that I'm about to go over here, these 3 hiring questions that you should refuse to answer, okay? They go towards that. It's less about whether or not you answer these questions and more about the signals, behavior and otherwise, that answering them sends out. And as I'm about to show you, there's almost no way that you can answer these and send out productive signals. In which case, why do it, guys? Why do it? Right? Why invest 10, 20, 30, 40? We've talked to people, before we taught them our system for generating career opportunities without going through any of this job search crap. Right? We've talked to unbelievably qualified people. Right? 10, 15, 20 years of experience. 5, 6, 7, interview 10 sometimes before they got rejected. Come on. Do you think that's happening by accident? Do you think that I would ever treat a high-level person who I was so lucky? Man, if we have a chance to collaborate, you think I'm going to insult this person by pushing them through 7 lines of indecision and BS, quite frankly, and corporate stupidity? No, I would not, right? There's no respect there. The wrong signals are going out. So here's the first one, okay? First question, what's the lowest salary that you will accept? Okay? If that question comes up, there is no answer that you should give that has anything to do with those numbers whatsoever. Okay? Simple as that. And one of the simplest things that you can say is, with all due respect, we're not at that stage yet. We haven't gotten into figuring out what exactly are the pain points here. We haven't gotten into figuring out what the major priorities are going to be, opportunities and otherwise, that the person jumping in. We haven't talked about the frame of this role, where it's going to go. And if we don't have that, what are we comparing and contrasting to? My salary, my compensation is based on one thing, by the way, not what I made at my last job, because I switch around a lot. I'm looking to rapidly gain my skill set there. My salary compensation is directly tied into impact, market value and impact. So we don't have that information. So why don't we move into that now? Let's make that the focus and we can revisit that topic. Great way to address it, okay? But there is no lowest salary. There's no number that you can send. You could actually give them a super high number, but the fact that you answered that reveals that you're just a transactional person, that you don't care about what the employer is. You don't care about what the situation is. You are a money hungry person, which you're not. But answering that, even in good faith, the reason it feels icky inside of us is because it is icky and because you know that you're giving up something precious, even though it's unacknowledged, okay? So really, what's the lowest salary you accept? Never. We're never answering that. How about here's the second one, okay? Why should we hire you? Very simple question, right? BS. Complete BS. Okay, here's what's going on. It's an authority and a status play when people ask you that, right? Hey, why should I hire you? That's like going onto a car lot and being like, hey, why should I buy a car? Why should I buy a Jeep? Why should I buy a Ford? You know what the real answer is, right? I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. But it's Saturday morning and you're at a car dealership with your wife and your 3 kids. I'm assuming you probably need transportation. Why don't we get into it, right? That's the real answer here, right? Instead, they try to make you feel bad, right? Oh, you're weak. Oh, there's something wrong about you. You need a job. Give me a break, dude. We all need impact, right? We all need to move forward. Let's get our heads out of romper room, right? So what's a way to address this? Why should we hire you? Maybe you shouldn't. But it looks like the pain that you solve arcs in absolutely perfect with what I advise business leaders on every single day. So that's what I would like to discuss. What say you? Right? Flip it back in. Flip it back over right to them. Why should we have no idea? No idea. Certainly it's been a long time since I've had to prove that because the pain that we're talking about, not being able to grow organically, especially after this pandemic hit, there's no convincing necessary. Just like there's no convincing necessary to take Advil when you have a cold and a flu, correct? So why don't we talk about that? We've got about 25 minutes left in this engagement. Why don't we talk about that, right? So flip it over to their pain, right? Make it absolutely clear. That's not the point. That's not the topic. I'm not here creating a role. You guys are. I'm not here trying to solve a pain. You guys are. Let's not dilly-dally here. Let's get in with solving it, right? Here's the next one, okay? How do we know that either X is true or that you will follow through on Y, right? How do we know? You said that in the resume. How do we know? You said that you can do this within this period. How do we know? And I know it's tempting at that point to start reaching for reasons and rationales. But I believe that the real play there and the real question is one of trust. Look, it's always going to be a risk. It's always going to be a risk to hire someone. It's always going to be a risk to work with a company. It's going to be a risk to trust other people. Trust is the main thing. If you don't trust that I'm going to follow through the way that I have throughout my career, we shouldn't work together. If you don't trust that the solution that we've been discussing and me staying accountable is that I'm going to be there every step of the way, you're right. We shouldn't work together. I can't promise that I'll magically know the answer to everything that comes down the pike. But I can promise you that as it is with my family, I'm going to be the main point of accountability and I will be there every step of the way to make sure that it happens. I hope that's good for you guys because I'm going to be needing and relying you guys as well. Does that work? Can we talk? Can we move on to the next thing, right? So it's a trust issue. Address the trust. Don't address the, bolstering up is just a false flag, okay? So if this is resonating with you, the place you want to go deeper with all of this, helloanish.com, HELLOANISH.com. Go over there right now. It'll be one of the smartest things you've done in your career in a very long time, filled with training insights that no one else is going to share with you, okay? Helloanish.com is where you need to go. Keep the comments, questions coming. Love those. Have a wonderful day, guys.